Hey guys, how's it going? Wooksy Gaming here, and today I'm going to be showing you the set Nomad. The cool thing about the set Nomad is that the Eye of Horus skill hits the entire screen, or the Eye of Ra, excuse me. So it allows you to clear extremely fast compared to the standard non-set version of this build. Um, it's one of the fastest clearing builds in the game. The only problem is that the move speed is somewhat slow compared to like an Amazon or something where you can move that move speed just a little higher. We get capped out at 305, I believe. So that's just one of the downsides of the build is that you're not an Amazon and you can't move super fast. However, getting the speed in this build isn't very hard either. So with that said, we'll go ahead and get started on the items. So getting started in the items, we're going to be using the 4 set of the Nomad, so there's no reason why we'd be swapping any of those pieces out. However, I still will show you each piece individually either way. So for the Nomad's Sand Bandana, it's kind of a weird item because it's going Fizz when it really should be going Wind. More than likely I'll talk to somebody about that because that's not correct. That should not be the way it is. The chest actually does wind damage, like the helmet should. Don't know why the helmet doesn't do wind damage. Is actually pretty surprising to me. It only does the 95% compared to the 122% fizz damage. So, um, those should definitely be swapped. I'll talk to somebody about that. Chest is pretty decent, gives a lot of wind damage, attack speed. The mana is nice. The mana per hit means that you're never going to go Same with the weapon. You get a lot of life leech, a lot of mana leech, attack speed, crit rate, crit damage. That's one thing that's cool about these items is that you are getting some crit in here. So if you did want to go crit, it's absolutely an option. You could swap out your amulet and boots fairly easily and go crit that way. For the gloves, fairly straightforward gloves, just attack speed, more mana, more dodge, more wind damage, strength stacking, good stuff. For the amulet slot, you do have two options. However, I'm going to highly suggest you use the Eye of Horus instead of the Pyramid Pendant. The reason why is for the 25% CDR. Now, the reason why we get 25% instead of 21% is because I am using two Von runes. I suggest using two Von runes in the amulet and two Von runes in the boots. That way you get 50% CDR capped. Really important for the build. Um, so that's why I use the Eye of Horus over the Eye or over the Pyramid Pendant. The Pyramid Pendant, however, would be a damage upgrade just because of the attack speed and everything. But just keep in mind you do want that 50% CDR, and this is one of the only feasible ways to do it since we don't have a lot of availability in our gear. Since the Nomads takes up most of our slots. For the boots, pretty much the exact same thing. You're either going to be using Tundra Marchers or the Mossaratham Marchers, mainly for the CDR. However, these ones also give wind damage as well, so they're really good. The cool thing about the build, you do get a lot of points for Eye of Ra, so let's see what your Eye of Ra is at. It's at almost 50, so while the damage isn't too significant, it procs quite a bit. So you'll hopefully I could get a proc real quick. I'll show you. But when it does proc, it pretty much hits the entire screen. So let's see if we can just get a ton of enemies. Of course, so I walk to the bottom of the map and there's nothing. Okay, let's just get a whole bunch of enemies on screen. See how it just hits kind of everything. So that's one thing I really like about this build is that it's extremely good for farming extremely fast. Once you get the Eye of Ra rolling, you just hit everything on the screen and you're just flying. It's a super good build for starting up, and it only takes the 4 items basically to get started on this build, so it's definitely one of the better ones for starting up, I would say, or suggest. But with that said, let's go into the passives so that you guys have a clear idea of what you should be doing for the passives. So we're definitely putting 25 points into Eye of Ra. That is a big chunk of our damage and a big chunk of our clear for like the pack clear. The other 25 points are going to be going into Sandstorm and into Demolishing Tornadoes. That's the bulk of your damaging skills, is the Sandstorms and the Damaging Ground. You're going to have those up at all times. The last 20 points you could either put into Wind and Sand, which I highly suggest putting into this, or you could put it into Rupture. Um, I'd highly suggest Wind and Sand. It's just so much better. It gives you so much better clear speed because all those little tornadoes are flying everywhere. It just really increases your clear speed a lot. So I highly suggest getting to the Wind and Sand as the last 20 points. Now for your hero levels, you do have a little bit of freedom to either go with like Ancient Power or Absolute Strength. However, I would go Absolute Strength just because you're already pushing almost 41,000 in this set already without using Ox Runes or anything. So you can get quite a bit of strength from this build. Overall, I would say this is a pretty good build. It's one of the more fun ones in my opinion, and it's one of the more consistent ones. It's not really gimmicky. It's just you get the gear, you attack, you're gonna absolutely destroy content and have a good time. So, with that said, I'm gonna go ahead and end the build guide here today. So that was just a Nomad set. Um, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, feel free to subscribe. I also stream on twitch.tv/WixieGaming. I will be moving a full stream schedule over there within the next 1 to 2 weeks, so I look forward to seeing you all there. Other than that, I hope you guys enjoy your day and see you next time.